This is why Arsenal didn't win the Premier League this season. Would you believe me if I told you that this season there's a team that beat Paris Saint-Germain with Dembele and Luis Enrique, scored 5 goals against Sporting Lisbon and Victor Gyökeres, also scored 5 against Pep Guardiola's and Erling Haaland's Manchester City, put 9 goals past PSV's Eindhoven in a Champions League knockout round, and eliminated none other than Real Madrid from the UEFA Champions League, actually beating them at Santiago Bernabeu? And if that weren't enough, they're also the team that's conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League. But despite all these achievements, they no longer have any chance of winning the domestic league, even though it's only April. Well, yes, that team exists, and it's Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. If you want to understand the reason behind this peculiar season for the team from the English capital, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. The 2024-2025 season started off pretty well for Arsenal. In their first 7 Premier League matches, they picked up 5 wins and 2 draws. On top of that, they scored 15 goals and only conceded 6. However, after that strong start, the London side went through a rough patch with 4 disappointing matches, in which they drew 2 and lost the other 2. On the other hand, in the UEFA Champions League, their start wasn't exactly spectacular. They recorded 1 win, 1 loss, and 2 draws in their first 4 games of the competition. However, the first part of the Champions League season turned out to be quite productive for Arteta's team. They managed to qualify as 3rd overall in the standings, behind only Liverpool and FC Barcelona. They were also 2nd best defensive side in the group stage, conceding only 3 goals, just behind Inter Milan, who conceded only 1. Back in the Premier League, even though things weren't going terribly, the outlook wasn't exactly favorable for Arteta's side. Despite getting good results, they remained at a considerable distance from the league leaders, Liverpool. This led them to finish the first half of the season 7 points behind Liverpool. As of now, Arsenal are in the Champions League semi-finals and 2nd in the Premier League, 13 points behind the top team. They were also knocked out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round. So, what's the reason for this irregular and strange season from the London club? Well, I believe there's a fairly simple answer that actually fits Arsenal's situation very well. Injuries. When we talk about Arteta's Arsenal this season, we're talking about a team plagued by injuries. Throughout the campaign, physical problems have been a major obstacle for Mikel Arteta when trying to form his team and plan strategies. It was very common for a player to suddenly pick up an injury, forcing him to completely change his plans. Over the course of the season, Arteta's squad has suffered around 59 injuries, and many of those have been to their most influential players. And even so, the London team has managed to overcome all these adversities and remain standing at this late stage of the season. Among the most important players who have dealt with injury problems are Bukayo Saka. The English winger and star of the national team has been one of the most painful absences from Arteta's side. He has missed 24 matches due to injury, many of them during the last few months, the most crucial period of the season. Before the injury, Saka was Arsenal's most dangerous attacker. He carried the team when they had chance creation issues, so his injury was Arsenal's heaviest blow. Fortunately, Bukayo is now back on the pitch, and hopefully, he stays healthy for the rest of the campaign. Michael Odegaard. The young Norwegian and Arsenal's captain has suffered several injuries, mostly in the ankle area, which have kept him off the pitch for 15 matches, many of them quite important. Odegaard is Arsenal's number 10 and where most of their creation burden is put on him. In his absence, Arsenal struggled to create versus deep blocks. Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is another player who has been significantly affected by injuries, missing 19 matches this season. And it seems there will be more, as he's been out since February 15th and is a doubt for the remainder of the 2024-25 season. It's a real shame considering he was just beginning to regain his best form and has become a key piece in Arteta's system. Riccardo Calafiori has also been hampered by injuries. The Italian defender who just joined Arsenal this season has suffered several muscular and knee injuries throughout the campaign, forcing him to miss 22 matches and counting as he's currently still sidelined with no clear return date. Even players like Sterling. Yes, Sterling has missed 4 matches due to injury, Well, to be honest, he missed even more games, but not because of injury, rather because he's just been poor, which has led Arteta to leave him out of the squad regularly. However, while most players have suffered long-term injuries, there's also Declan Rice, who, despite breaking a toe, has only missed one match all season due to injury. This guy is tough as nails, so how can it be explained that despite all these injuries, Arsenal is still alive at this point in the season? The answer is simple: Mikel Arteta. The Spanish coach has managed to reinvent himself and adapt his team's setup multiple times to cope with the absence of key players throughout the season. One of Arteta's most important and impactful decisions was discovering Miles Lewis-Skelly. The young English fullback has been a revelation for the team. Due to Calafiori's injuries and Zinchenko's poor form, the left flank has been left completely exposed until Miles burst onto the scene. Despite being only 18 years old and in his debut professional season, he's made the most of the opportunities that life and his manager gave him, and he's become one of the best fullbacks around. Another brilliant decision by the Spanish coach has been shifting the tactical formation to a 4-3-1-2. Due to the absence of Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz, the team no longer had a traditional target man up front. This led to a more versatile attacking setup. By playing with a false nine, the wingers could take on roles inside the box, receiving crosses or through balls from the fullbacks and midfielders. Set pieces have also become a key weapon for Arteta's side. Whether it's from a corner or a free kick delivery, Arsenal is a constant threat, with a high chance of scoring in these situations. It's no coincidence that they are the team with the most goals from set pieces in the Premier League. And not only from crosses, they're also deadly from direct free kicks, as we saw in the match against Real Madrid. And now, it's finally time to talk about the tie between Arsenal and Real Madrid. These two matches have been by far the most important of Arsenal's season and arguably the most important in the last 10 years. After crushing and eliminating PSV in the round of 16, Arsenal had to host Real Madrid at the Emirates Stadium. All predictions had the Spanish side as favorites. Even though they were going through a rough spell in terms of form, you can never rule them out. After all, they are the kings of the competition. However, despite not having the statistics in their favor beforehand, Arsenal stepped up in front of their home crowd to face the kings of Europe, and what a performance it was! Arsenal's victory at the Emirates Stadium wasn't just a win. It was a masterclass and a humiliation orchestrated by the London side that will be remembered for a long time. Throughout the 90 minutes, Arsenal were vastly superior to the Madrid side, who never felt comfortable or found their rhythm in the game. Despite the clear dominance of Arteta's team, they didn't take the lead until Declan Rice decided to channel Maradona, Ronaldinho, and Andrea Pirlo all at once. With two stunning free-kick goals, he put his team ahead on the scoreboard, which would grow even larger when, near the end of the match, Mikel Arteta scored the third goal, giving Arsenal a massive sense of security. In the return leg, Arsenal had to seal the tie not only against Real Madrid, but also against Santiago Bernabeu and everything that comes with it. The atmosphere, the crowd, the history, and the general aura make visiting that stadium a true nightmare. But just like Morpheus in The Sandman, or better yet, like Arsene Wenger's Arsenal in 2006, Arteta's Arsenal went into hell and came out victorious. Even though Real Madrid had more possession in the second leg, Arsenal's defense was so solid that Madrid's forwards were left with almost no options to make a difference. And even despite a missed penalty by Bukayo Saka, Arsenal came away with a 1-2 victory, giving them a commanding 5-1 aggregate result. The excellent defensive work and dominance shown by the London side were thanks to the brilliant tactical plan crafted by Mikel Arteta, who this season has managed to create a remarkable footballing harmony within his squad, making Arsenal one of the most dangerous and defensively sound teams in all of Europe. So then, how is it possible that despite being such a highly competitive team, capable of overcoming all kinds of adversity, Arsenal has not even been able to fight for a Premier League title until the end, yet has made it to the final stages of the Champions League? Is it all because of the injuries? Well, we could say yes, since the Premier League is a longer tournament, and the health of the squad plays a crucial role if you want to compete for the title. However, we also can't overlook the level shown by Liverpool this season, as Mohamed Salah and the company have performed at an enviable level throughout the tournament. Plus, injuries have been far less of an issue for them compared to Arteta's squad. Therefore, we could say that the reason Arsenal won't win the Premier League isn't just due to injuries, but rather, Liverpool is the reason why Arsenal didn't win the Premier League this season. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to give it a like. See you next time.